Am I audible? Okay, so let's wait a few minutes. Let everyone come in, then we'll start. Okay, it's officially 5. Let's wait few moments till everybody joins us. Okay, so let's officially start at 5 p.m. Till then, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Adawadkar. I am a 2020 pass out. Well, pass out or just a student, that's for government to decide. But for sake of simplicity, let's say I am a 2020 pass out, and the topic today would be about projects and hackathon. So it's integral part of your curriculum. Just don't look at it as just your regular subjects. So it requires some special time. You should allocate some special time for it, for preparing, for doing, for learning some prerequisites, and actual implementation of project should also take a quite amount of time. So so I guess we should start now. Mhm. One second. Okay. So let's start with the very basic question which one can ask. Why projects in first place, right? Because till now what was happening, you were giving your theory exams, you are giving your practical exams, you are scoring marks in them, and you would be promoted into your next class. So why government or why college thought that there should be a subject of project in your curriculum? So this brings me to the first point. So though it sounds quite whimsical, it's quite true. Like this is the only way you could show off your skills in an interview. So suppose let's assume you know PHP. So obviously, if you know PHP, you would write that in your resume, right? But when you appear to to any interviewer, then he would see, okay, you have mentioned you know resume, you know PHP in your resume, but how could he how could he ask for proof that you actually know? So what he would do, he can't directly ask you to write the entire backend code for a particular website in PHP, right? Because that's very lengthy process, and frankly, he has to ask many other questions as well. So what he would do instead, he would scan through your projects. He would see if you have a project which you have implemented in PHP, and on that project, he would ask the questions. Now, on the basis of the quality of questions, the quality of answers you go, he would score you in PHP. So basically, it's the major point here is to show off your skills. The next point is next point is for just getting your hands dirty. Okay. So the next point is getting your hands dirty, because till now what you have done, you have been choked on by so much of information, in every class, up till your 12th and even in your first year and second year. But it's now time to build something, to actually use the knowledge which you have gathered from all those years to build something from scratch. So this basically would give you the basic feel of what computer science really is. So when you get in there, you would face many problems. You would have to tackle multiple bugs. You would have to solve all those installation error, configuration errors. So this is what would give you the feel of real computer science engineer, and after passing out from college, this is what would be your day-to-day life. And the next point is, according to me, the most important point. So frankly, make the padakun. So I sleep at 10 or 11 every night. But in third year first sem, when we were preparing for our project, or rather we were implementing our project, we used to stay up all the night, all the time, like 2 to 3 weeks in a row. But the wonderful thing is that it never felt as like work, because we were just bunch of friends hanging around, discussing about technologies, trying different approaches, solving bugs also. So yes, solving bugs could be frustrating many of times. But when you have some of your best friends sitting right besides you to help you, then it kind of becomes fun. So the major thing to extract the fun out of your project implementation process is to choose the people as your project partner which you are most compatible with. So I was lucky that Rohit and Swapnil were along with me for every project I did in my college. So yes, we were all compatible with each other, and that's why the entire process was hell lot of a ride. So the next point. So before going any further, I would say I think this is the only theoretical slides. Maybe this is the last theoretical slides of my entire presentation, because let's be frank, we are engineers, right? So theory is never entertaining for us. So I'm just pointing out few things here so that you could refer to it afterwards as well. So the first point I think, for approaching almost any project problem, is the problem identification. It's quite silly to even write that down here, but problem identification or exploring the problem statement is a quite difficult task, because there is a whole lot of things or internet as well. So how to choose which problem statement is more suitable for you? So you can google the stuff, or you can just stalk your seniors or the great people of computer science field on LinkedIn. Many times what they do, they write down their college projects on the LinkedIn, so that you could get an idea of what people around the globe are doing in their engineering college. So once you have identified the problem, what you could do, you could write down all the things you want to implement as a solution to that problem. Okay, so once you have all the map of all the things you are going to implement, then suppose while implementation, if you found a functionality bug, you could always go back to your problem statement, what you had written down beforehand, and you can easily solve that problem. The next is basic research and literature study. So the second year and third year guys would be new to what literature studies. Basically, it just means that it just means that what other people are doing about the problem you have chosen all around the world. Now I'll give you a very silly example. Suppose I am building a website. Okay, then I don't know how to build a website. So what I would do, I would go on internet and I would search how people are building website today. So I would find that there are various new languages, various new framework that people are using. So from that, basically I could design my own approach of how to solve that particular problem. And here, when I say a basic research, I don't actually mean that you should go and read the research paper. But if you go and read the research paper, that is well and good, but basic googling would also suffice in this case. The next is penning down your entire approach. So before writing the single line of code, you should have the clear idea of what you are going to write in the code. So that's why before writing the code, you should write down all your approach on a piece of paper, so that if you find bug, or within your teammates, if there is a conflict about how to implement a functionality, you can always go back and see what you had decided first before writing the code. So this would save you shit ton of time and also help you solve bugs very easily. Then of course there is implementation parts. In this, you would write code and test it accordingly. Then there are corner cases. Okay, so technical and non-technical corner cases. So I would try to explain this thing. This thing by giving an example. So suppose and now my third year project was voting system on blockchain. So basically it was voting system on internet. So the technical corner case would be, suppose there is a form which has 10 fields, and suppose the form is getting submitted, even if I keep a field blank, then that corner case would be technical corner case. But the non-technical corner case, suppose a layman ask me, okay, you are building a voting system on internet, then what if have you thought about villages? In villages, still there is not 100% internet connectivity. So how would you tackle that problem? So this case would come under non-technical corner case. So basically technical corner case is something which a computer engineer would ask you, while non-technical corner case would be something that a layman would ask you. It's that simple. And next are improvements and deployment. So uh, so we would talk about these things when we build our own project. I think that would give you a better idea about this. Okay, so when I talked about penning down your entire approach, I meant something like this. So here you can see it's a simple block diagram. So this is a block diagram from our third year project, voting system on blockchain. So you don't need to draw something complicated, as I have shown you on the screen. A simple block diagram, a simple data flow diagram, or just a flow chart would also suffice. So this is not to show anybody, this is for your own convenience, this is for your for your own understanding. So before writing any line of code, you should have at least one of those three diagrams which I just stated with you. I'm not saying you go on draw.io and programmatically you build all this. You can just take pen and paper and draw down your approach. Okay, I think we are done with theory. Uh, so as Linus Torvalds would say, talk is cheap and show me the code. So let's not waste our time, and let me deliver what I have promised. Let's build our own fun project. So I guess you are excited to get your hands dirty, because certainly I am. Okay, so problem statement. So let's start with a story. So this story dates back 2 years from now. Me, Swapnil, and Rohit, we were doing our practical session in one of the labs in our department, and Shaha ma'am walked into the room. She was returning from She was returning from supervising a practical exam which our seniors were having. and she sat beside us and she said, अरे यार तुम्हारे सब सीनियर्स चीट करते यार, हमें हमें पता है सब चीट करते, पर there is no way we can catch them, right? Because she said mostly what they do, they open Chrome for 5 minutes, they copy whatever they want and close the Chrome. So in matter of 5 minutes they do their entire cheating. And the another way is that they bring pen drives in the practical exams. And again, we cannot check for every student if he has carrying pen drive. So they carry pen drive in their practical exams and have all the code in their pen drive, and they plug in their pen drive, copy the code, and again plug out their pen drive. This is also a matter of 5 minutes, and they cheat, so it's very difficult to catch them. And ma'am left after saying all this. So me, Rohit, and Swapnil, we were thinking if we could possibly think of solution for this, because we thought it was a genuine problem and many colleges, almost all colleges, might be facing it if we are facing it, right? So we went back to our rooms and we started discussing about what could be done. So basically, this is what problem statement is, and I'm not making this up. This seriously happened with us in second year, and we developed the project which I am going to show you in second year vacations. Okay. So to brief, the problem statement is to develop a easily administrable system to put an end to all the malpractices which students which students do during their practical lab exams. I hope that's clear. Then let's move forward. Okay, so again, so again I will be trying to go by the steps which we are go by the steps which I have just mentioned beforehand. So basic research and literature study. So we went on Google. We checked how student actually cheat in their exams. So we talked to our seniors. We talked to our senior. We googled him, and we found there are two major approaches which students follow to cheat in exam. Again, so before starting, I'm giving a disclaimer that I'm not supporting that you should go cheat in your practical exams. I'm just saying, for implementing a solution, you must know problem fully. Okay. So yes, as I stated earlier, there is web browser. So people open Chrome, copy things from internet, and close the Chrome in matter of 5 minutes to cheat in exam. Then we have hard drives, or basically in the entire context of my presentation, I would refer hard drive and pen drive as synonyms. So there is a pen drive solution, and then there are many more ways. You won't believe, there are many more ways, some of which I would explain in brief as we go on further. So this is the result of the research and literature study which we did in our second year. Moving on, so penning down the approach. So as we have identified that there are two problems: student open browser and they carry pen drive to the exam hall. So for this problem, we are trying to pen down our approach. So again, we went on Google, we discussed with seniors, discussed among ourselves, and came up with a solution. So we first wrote down that solution, of course, as I said. So for web browser thing. Okay. So I think you might be familiar with what task list is. If not, let me just show you here. So task list is nothing a command for Windows. If I do CMD here and I type in task list, then as you can see, this lists out all the processes which are currently running into my system. Suppose if I go a bit down, you could see there are multiple instances of chrome.exe here, and there are multiple instances of ms edge also. So that's it basically. Okay, one question. So if you have studied your Galvin book thoroughly, you could answer this question. So I have only so okay. So let me show you. I have only one window of my edge, but then two. It's showing multiple. It is showing me multiple instances of msh.exe here. Why? So this happens because Chrome itself is a process, and every tab you open into Chrome, it creates a new process. So every tab appears as new process. That's why multiple entries for a single application is listed down here. So basically, if we have this list in our hand, what we could do, we could just iterate through the list in while